Hello and welcome back to IASA Sound Bytes. As always, I'm Darin Reffitt, the volunteer chair of IASA's eLearning committee and the director of product marketing excellence with Guidewire Software. And today I'm just thrilled to be joined by Brenda Wells, who's the director of risk management and insurance program at East Carolina University and a noted expert on the emerging realm of cannabis law. Brenda has spent over 30 years studying and teaching risk management and insurance. She's had articles published in the Journal of Risk and Insurance, the Journal of Insurance Regulation, the Journal of Insurance Issues, among others. And her publication in the Journal of Insurance Issues on marijuana legalization and its impact on the property casualty insurance space is the seminal paper in this field. Brenda will be co-presenting later this month on our IASA webinar, Cannabis, It's Growing Like a Weed. Brenda, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Brenda, there's so much buzz, pun intended, about cannabis and insurance right now. What's driving that?
Well, the reality is that several states have taken action recently in November, and we expect more to take action in the future. New York's governor has said he wants to go full on legal, whereas other states are legalizing only medical, and some states are still outlawing it altogether, but those are very few and far between. We have quite a few states that are taking measures to make cannabis more accessible to its citizens. And that is a pretty big phenomenon in a country that just 10 years ago only had a handful of states that were legal for medical.
Well, I've heard you speak several times on this topic, and I can't wait for your webinar. I actually got a sneak peek at the content just a few minutes ago, and there's so much new information about cannabis law and its changing impact on insurance companies. But let's start with the most important question. Who at an insurance company needs to be thinking about this right now and why?
Departments at an insurance company really all need to be thinking about this. Of course, the legal department needs to make sure that everything that's done is in compliance with state and federal law. The underwriting department needs a grip on what they're insuring, and they need to understand how to underwrite these risks. The claims department needs to understand what's covered, what's not, what's legal for us to pay for, what's illegal for us to pay for. The marketing department needs to understand that even though it may be legal in some states, there are still a lot of people that don't like it. Typically about 30% of the population is still opposed to legalization. So we have to be mindful of how those people will feel about any decision we make to cover cannabis.
Thank you for that. These are all really complex things to think about. So hopefully people across the insurance firm will be joining your webinar to bring clarity to some of these issues. As I mentioned earlier, Brenda will be presenting on our February webinar, Cannabis, It's Growing Like a Weed, along with Melissa Roeder, attorney of record with Foley Mansfield. Brenda, thank you so much again for joining us. If viewers want to reach you and find you directly, what's the best way to do so?
I can be reached at brenda@riskedstrategies.com. That's brenda@riskedstrategies, Risk Education Strategies.
Great. Thanks again. As always, thank you for joining us, and we welcome your feedback. Please comment on YouTube or follow us on YouTube. Feel free to tweet at me at DM Reffitt or to tweet at IASA at IASA Inc. You can also email me at dreffitt@guidewire.com. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Sound Bytes.